Today is Monday, January 4th, 2021. This is our first meeting as an agency here. Happy New Year to everybody. I'm Gary Upton, current chairman. The vice chair, Kristen Chantrell, is here, and Secretary Phyllis Berger is here. Again, the time is 7:04, January 4th, 2021. This is just, I anticipate this to be a fairly brief meeting, and thank you. We have our alternate, Mr. Paul Daigle here. Thank you for being here this evening, sir. Jen Lindo.
Ex officio, not alternate.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. That was me just going fast. And I saw Jen's eyes go, Gary, you said the wrong thing. He's good. He's good. Jen, yell at me next time, would you? Count on you for that. Sorry. So Mr. Daigle, our ex officio from the Board of Selectmen, and Mr. Gaishel, our town staff, and it looks like a few members of the public. Anyhow, should be a fairly quick meeting this evening. First things first, we are going to discuss our meeting schedule. Jen posted up two possible meeting schedules, right, Jen?
I did. Did you want a brief explanation of that?
Yeah, you know how this works. We appreciate your inner dialogue that we don't know about. Go ahead.
So we had tried to move the Wetlands Agency to the first Monday of the month, just to make it a little easier on Gary and I for staff purposes, because otherwise Wetlands ends up on the same week as planning, and you are back to back. However, we found out afterwards that we would lose our recording secretary if we did that. And we, after discussion, figured we would leave it to the agency, but we have a calendar for the first Monday of the month and have a calendar for the second Monday of the month. The second Monday of the month being easier because it will keep our recording secretary and we'll just keep moving the way we have been.
So that makes more sense for you and Mr. Gaishel?
I think it's the better way to go, but Gary can speak for himself.
Is that what you prefer, Gary? Because we'll definitely go with the opposite. I'm totally joking.
Certainly. No, I think it versus having to find another recording secretary, it's much easier to go with the second Monday of the month.
We're kind of in a discussion element here, but perhaps considering what's been said by town staff, I'd like to make a motion to approve the meeting schedule for the second Mondays of the month. That's my motion. Do I hear a second? I hear lots of seconds, so it looks like the vote's going to be pretty easy. The first hand I saw was Ms. Chantrell, so we have a second from Kristen Chantrell. By a show of hands, do we approve the schedule as written up by town staff for meeting on the second Monday of the month? Just for the record, yeah, show of hands approving this. All members, Mr. Schmidt, are you on board, sir? Thank you, sorry. Okay, any questions? Does anyone want to, is anyone opposed to this? So everyone is in favor. The motion is moved. Just for the record, I'm going to read in real quick. Those meeting dates would be, and Jen, stop me if I'm wrong, January 4th, February 8th, March 8th, April 12th, March 10th, June 14th.
May 10th.
Thank you. May 10th, June 14th, July 12th, August 9th, September 13th, August 18th, November 8th.
No, October 18th.
October 18th. Man, look how small. It's really small. Sorry, guys. October 18th, November 8th, and December 13th, all in the year of 2021. The site walks, it looks like we're doing all of the site walks generally the 2 days before the meeting, which is the Saturday before the meeting. I think that was a smart change that we made, last year when we did that?
I think so.
Thanks for that suggestion, Mr. Gaishel. That was a smooth, smart move. And moving on in the agenda here, we have this evening the election of...
Excuse me. Did you say January 4th?
Today.
That's today.
Yeah,
Today's a special meeting. It's going to be your regular meeting as well?
We just left it on the schedule, even though it was a special meeting. We could take it off. It doesn't.
Oh, that's okay. I just wanted to make sure there's no confusion between. Is there going to be another meeting in January?
No.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, when we get to item 3, I think we'll clarify that we don't need to have that other meeting in January. We could do it February.
Gary, I was asked to seek nominations for your, at least the chairmanship, because currently your office's terms expired in December. So
Sure.
I'll just take care of the protocol of receiving a nomination, and second, you folks will vote, of course, and then whoever's elected chair will continue with the other offices.
All right, so we're going to move on. For Mr. Daigle's going to seek nominations for the position of chair for the Inland Wetlands Agency. Go ahead, Mr. Daigle.
I would like to, is there any nominations for the chair of the Inland Wetlands Agency? If you'd raise your hand and speak, I'll take your nomination. Yes, go ahead.
Guys, turn your mics on. Mic's
You're
on.
muted, Phyllis.
No, got it. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, whoops.
Apologies. So I'd like to nominate David Schmidt. He's been next to me, am I right, when we're always on committee, and I understand he's been a chairman for a while for another town, and he's been serving our town very well. He's an easygoing guy, and he knows a lot about wetlands, and I think he'd be a good chairman for us.
Okay, do I have a second for that nomination?
I like
I'll
to do a
get to you in a
second.
minute. Excuse me?
I'll do a second for
Okay.
another individual,
Okay,
for
Right.
Gary Upton to serve again.
a second nomination. Okay, okay.
Skipped
Got it.
ahead.
Well, I wanted to, first of all, do I have a second for the nomination for, oh, never mind, we don't have to take, I'm sorry, Gary Upton, I'm sorry.
Mr. Gaishel. There you go. No, just joking.
Okay, are there any other nominations? Okay, I'm gonna go with the, which one do I go first with? We have a nomination for Dave Smith. Do we have a second for that nomination?
I'll second it.
Doreen seconded. And Gary Upton, do we have a second for that nomination?
Second.
Kristen, thank you. Okay. So we can do this one of two ways. We can vote on the first nomination and the second one, or I can take individual votes for the two nominations so we don't have to do it twice. The option of the agency. Okay, by the show of hands, all those in favor of Dave Smith's nomination as chair, please raise your hands. 1, 2. Doreen, is your hand up or down?
No, I want to go down.
Okay, so we have 2 in favor. All in approval of Gary Upton as the chair, please raise your hands. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and it looks like, Gary, you decided not to vote, correct?
I could vote for myself, I guess. Sure.
Okay, so it appears that Mr. Upton has been elected chair with 5 yeas. And then we had 2 positives for Dave Schmidt. So with that, unless there's any other questions, Mr. Upton will continue as your chair for the next year.
Thank you, guys. And I would like to add, I don't disagree with Don. I do think Mr. Schmidt is a very capable, experienced, possible chairman for our agency, and I look forward to seeing him potentially work in this role if I'm for any reason fall down a flight of stairs. Dave, don't get any funny ideas, okay?
I don't have any funny ideas.
I volunteered you pushing me downstairs. No, I'm just joking. So with that going on, thank you, Mr. Daigle, for doing that. I know that was awkward stuff. Moving forth, now that we have a seated chair, we take much the same. Do we have any nominations for a vice chair of the Wetlands Agency? You can also nominate yourself. As the chair, I try not to drive the bus too much, even though some people would raise their eyes at that. So I would say I have a nomination, but I'm going to wait to see if our agency might nominate somebody.
Okay.
Ms. Berger.
I'd like to nominate Kristen Chantel again, if she'd be willing to serve,
Is that okay with you, Kristen?
vice
Yes.
chairman.
Thank you, Phyllis. Yes.
And I would second that nomination. Are there any other people or nominations that would like to be made here at this time? Going once, going twice, seeing none. At this time, we'd like to take a vote for those in favor of Ms. Chantrell being our vice chair. From the top, we have 1, 2, Kristen, you can vote for yourself. 3, 4, Don. Mr. Schmidt is over there. Yep, there you are. And Jason and Doreen. Looks like you got it, Kristen. Thank you again for your time and help. Your assistance is invaluable, and I know that everyone appreciates the way in which you temper the chairman at times. It's very appreciated. Wait, hold on, that's me. Moving forth, onto the position of secretary, we have, it appears we need to nominate somebody. And again, I have my own nomination. Is there anyone that would like to make a nomination for secretary? Ms. Chantrell? Oh, Mr. Devel. Go ahead, Mr. Devel.
I would like to nominate Phyllis Berger.
Oh,
Phyllis, is that okay with you?
yes, thank you.
And I already learned from you. I like what you did there with Kristen. You asked her if she wanted to do it. That was smart. That was smart. All right. So any other nominations for secretary? Okay. Not hearing any. I will second that nomination for Ms. Berger. And at this time, take a vote. All in favor of Ms. Berger as our secretary, please raise your hand at this time. 1, 2, Ms. Berger, please vote for yourself. It's a good choice. 3, 4, 5, 6. Thanks, guys. Great job. Moving on to the next item. I believe that is the end of that bit. We have this, because of our canceled meeting in December, it looks like we need to seek a continuation for the public hearing, right, Mr. Gaishel? Am I wording that correctly?
Yeah, we just need to schedule and state the date of the continuation.
Would it be okay to put that on our February meeting date from a statutory guideline perspective?
Yes, because we're still under the 90-day COVID extension. So,
Okay.
yeah,
February 8th would be that date, correct?
correct.
And we'll put it at our regular meeting time. I would just think, because I appreciate their patience and the public that's going to show up, maybe just as a note, could we have it right at the top of the agenda, you guys, Jen and Gary, maybe just so it's kind of, we're not keeping everyone waiting for any old business or anything. Is that all right?
Certainly.
All right. Do we need to vote on that technically?
You should have a motion because we do have to run a legal again.
Okay, do I hear a
I can
motion?
do it, Pointer.
I
Go ahead.
move we put it on the agenda for the February 8th meeting, first item on the agenda after the normal business.
See, he probably should have been the chair. Thanks, Dave. That was good. Nicely done. I second that motion. All in favor? 1,
Aye.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And do I hear maybe one more motion to adjourn this evening's meeting?
Can I just make a comment?
Oh.
Yes?
I have a concern about this year. We seem to cancel meetings at a very short time, like a couple days ahead of time. And I'm just concerned. It's difficult for the town staff, and then I don't think it's really fair to the applicant because it messes them up with the attorneys and everything. So I hope that this year, if we schedule a meeting, that's it. It should be done.
I agree with that. I was surprised we had a couple that were canceled very short notice when nobody else understood why, and that's all.
We'll definitely work on it. I can say from my end, there were just personal matters which I don't want to divulge.
I don't expect you to.
You guys know I'm good to sit here till 2 a.m. So it's never intended. It's never, I like to talk. I'm happy to any opportunity. Mr. Daigle.
One thing to consider is if any member is unavailable, other members can, if we have a quorum, the agency meeting can be held.
Yep, that's true. And I think that's one of our goals, definitely, to get, it would be my interest, I don't mean to put you on the spot, Kristen, but I'd like to see you run a meeting. I think that's a great job, like a great plan. And if I need to be here, I'm happy to be here, or maybe I just disappear and you have to do it. That's fine too. I'll meet Paul down at the dock or something, during the summer. But so yeah, I think those are good comments, and I appreciate them all. And let's try to stick to that plan. Let's be here for February to start that off right. February 8th, the continuation of the public hearing and any other regular matters that we'll hear before us. Right, Mr. Gaishel?
That's correct.
And does anyone else have anything else? Ms. Ryan?
Yes, I have a question about, is there like a time limit for our meetings? Like sometimes they go pretty late. I know we had said a few meetings back that we were going to try and wrap them up, by 10 or something. Was that what? I thought that was the time, but.
It's hard for us to limit the public when they want to talk.
Yeah.
Like we really do try to instruct them to, say what they have to say and hopefully do it within 5 minutes. I know that I've been told by Mr. Daigle and town staff and town attorneys, we can't stop them from talking, right? But the intent is to do so. I tell me if I'm wrong, guys, but I do think that the Zoom things made it worse. Because, no one has to step up to the mic in the room. No one feels uncomfortable. Everyone feels pretty comfortable. So let's fingers crossed, hope we're going to be in a room together pretty soon. I think we'll have a fun time doing it back the old fashioned. I can't wait to do it that way again. I don't know about you guys. I know it means driving and getting there, but yeah, it's hard. If you watch some of the other commissions, I mean, they're a little bit more orderly. We can try and direct the public with a little bit more, more succinctness. But if it's just us, we can be efficient. I think it's when you involve that public element, and then I work every time. I'm like trying not to engage, trying not to answer the question. I catch myself doing it sometimes. It's tricky. It's definitely tricky. And I'm personally open to any. Not right now, but any offline advice and help that anyone might want to throw at me to help. I'm sitting here trying to be the MC, so we're not all going like, oh my gosh, this is terrible, and trying to keep a little bit of levity to the thing. But at the same time, I listen to myself and I'm like, all right, time to shut up, buddy. So.
Can I ask a question? Jen, is it possible to start getting hard copy packets of the applications again? I'm not sure at what capacity of town hall you are. It's so hard to look at the stuff online.
The problem with giving you guys the packets is that I, number one, have to mail them to you. I don't know if you guys are familiar with how our postage has been lately, but for me to get building permits right now, it is taking approximately 2 to 3 weeks for them to go from Waterford to East Lyme. And some of them I'm not getting at all. I have customers that have said they've mailed me a check. I'm 2 weeks out waiting for that now. I mean, I understand we just had a holiday, but my greatest concern is that you wouldn't get them.
What about outside pickup, Jen? Is that like?
I don't have anywhere to leave it for you.
Oh, okay.
That's the thing, and you can't come in the building, so I don't have any way to.
You could hang it. You could hang it on my fence.
I guess I would just say as soon as possible. I mean, understanding there's limitations right now, I would love to go back to the hard copies whenever that's a possibility without mailing, obviously.
Right. I mean, I think that if there's something that you see coming up on the agenda that you would prefer to have a hard copy of, certainly reach out to me while I'm in the office and see if I can, if somebody can pick it up for you and I can leave it taped to the door, if it's just a piece of paper, or a plan, we can try and do something. It's just that it becomes very cumbersome because there's only one of me and I work for 5 departments and 5 commissions. So, and I'm the only full-time admin staff besides. So it's a lot to juggle, especially to be trying to meet people outside.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
The coordination part of it gets kind of hairy.
Yeah, okay.
Chair recognizes Mr. Diebel.
I would just like to say thanks, Jen, for all that you do. I know it's a lot, and I don't want to add anything to your plate, but we as a commission or as an agency have a good opportunity to pass out papers at like site walks if we could get those needed to maybe get.
Oh, that would be a good idea.
Yep.
So for something for the commission agency to consider.
Good thought.
And I do, not to oust myself, I literally live next door to town hall, so if you wanted to just figure out how I could grab a bundle from you, Jen, I could probably do that. you know?
The other issue that we're going to start facing here too, though, is because there's so many commissions and we're doing everything by Zoom, to start making paper copies again is a big task. What you guys don't see is that in the in-person meetings, those paper packets take me a good hour to 2 hours to make, because I'm also competing for time for the copy machine. Now, that's not the case right now. It'll be easier because nobody else is meeting in person. But again, if I can at least have an idea of how many people need it, instead of making, 12 to 15 copies when there's only 3 people that are looking for it.
Just
I'm
print the
happy,
PDF.
I'm happy with the PDF
Yeah,
anytime
print the
email,
PDF.
no problem.
No, print it PDF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. With that said, so it sounds like we could probably figure that out by email together.
Yep.
We'll just do a quick screen of the crew, and I'm okay with PDF. Why don't we just do that real quick so Jen knows? Not to put you on the spot again, Kristen, but I'm gonna. Kristen likes it by paper. I'm okay with the PDF, but paper is kind of cool. So, Don, how do you feel about that? PDF's okay?
PDF's fine.
All right. And Phyllis?
Paper.
All right. We have 2 papers. Mr. Schmidt said PDF is cool. Jason, how do you feel?
Paper.
Marjorie, we were asking if, I know you've not seen any yet, but applications can come via PDF, which is just like all these pages you go through, or we can print it and kill lots of trees like Kristen and Phyllis like trees. And we
I'm not a tree killer, but I think I'd like to see paper for a first couple of meetings.
Yeah, I think you should probably cut your teeth that way. I would actually recommend that. So we've got 3 for paper.
Thank you.
Doreen, how do you feel about this?
I think I'm okay with the PDFs for now. Yeah.
So at least we know and I'm okay, like I said, with the PDF. At least we know for a start who likes what. Then, is that it, guys? Anything else? Did I miss anything?
Make a motion.
Mr. Daigle?
With Jason's appointment, you're now down 1 alternate, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, I'll make sure I discuss that with the Board of Selectmen.
We have Sandy, right? Sandy Gignac?
I love Sandy Gignac. Yep.
Gignac. And then
One alternate, as Mr. Daigle stated.
there was that, someone put forth a name of a capable person. Who was that? I forgot, guys.
So someone came to my attention, Dr. McIntyre, who is an environmental scientist, a PhD multiple times over. I put his materials in an email and forwarded them to the Board of Selectmen through Dan Cunningham and Roseanne Hardy. So they've got those papers somewhere in their email. I think he's definitely worth a consideration.
I recognize the name, and I will make sure we address it at the Board of Selectmen, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Daigle. Thank you, Mr. Diebel. All right, guys. I thought I heard someone trying to make a motion. Ms. Chantrell, was that you?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second that motion.
Sorry.
Me too.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, guys. Happy New Year. Let's hope to seeing each other, hopefully in person, healthy soon. Who knows how that's all going to work out, But thanks for everyone's patience last year. Lots of crazy stuff, hard things to deal with, and maybe a little smoother sailing this year. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Meeting is adjourned at 7:27 p.m.